Well, welcome into the Miller's Edge Extra. Didn't know this was coming. Weather delay down in Tampa as Bama trails South Florida 3-0. Quarterback change happened as we thought. Tyler Buckner started the game for the Tide, but things are not looking good offensively right now. Defense has been pretty stellar. A turnover on a muff punt by Alabama led to 3 points for South Florida. A kickoff return by Terrion Arnold returned for a touchdown. Penalty called that back. So there we stand right now with the weather delay 3-0. South Florida over Alabama. And Christian, I must say, man, watching this game is hard. I mean, this offense, we talked about this, and I've been telling folks, and I'm going to stand on it right now, that the quarterback change wasn't the answer. It's the offensive line. No push, no ability to run the football with any type of consistency, no passes really down the field. I mean, Milroe would have given you an explosive in the run game. He would have given you deep shots down the field because defensive coordinators would have been forced to play differently. So this offense looks terrible. I mean, Alabama right now, slowly I'm losing confidence watching this team and thinking, how many games can they win? They're not going to beat Ole Miss. They're not going to beat LSU with this type of offense. And if I'm a Bama fan, which I am 150%, I'm really nervous about this football team right now. I don't see a good football team on the field today.
Well, I think the most glaring thing is, like you said, is that just the lack of physicality. But I'll take it a step further. I feel like just the play call, and there was one series we just went three straight passing plays. Like, I just don't understand why we're not trying to impose our will, and establish that run game. You have those running backs, and I don't know, but I will say, at this point, I agree with you. I think if Milroe was out there, we probably would have seen some more explosiveness from that offense. And I know Tyler Buckner, it's only been a quarter. He's probably still getting his feet wet, literally, with the weather delay. But it's one of those things where he's a little inconsistent. He doesn't look super confident right now. I mean, there's like a couple of his, screen passes. He led the guy too much. And I think Benson just fell down. I mean, I don't know. And then in terms of just, the defense looks good. We had a lack of pass rush last week. I think we only generated pressure on 10% of Quinn Ewers' dropbacks. Much different story this game. Granted it's USF, but at least the defense is playing well. Like you said, you had the big return, but then a penalty takes it back. So it's tough seeing this Alabama team right now. It's just like there's something lacking, man. It's just something's lacking, and it honestly, just watching them, it looks like they just have no true identity, particularly on offense. Right, the offense just to me looks out of sorts. I'm all for, plugging and playing guys, trying to get the right guys out there. But, man, it's just tough. It feels like they have no identity right now. And it's like they don't know if they're trying to be more of a passing team. The run is just not there right now. I mean, Milroe made stuff happen. Now Buckner's in there. We're scoreless through one quarter. Again, a lot of football to play in this game. And I hate that there's this type of weather because it's really going to be hard to kind of see what this offense can do. You're going to be hindered with the weather now. But I'll be honest, so far from what I've seen, I mean, either you need to put Ty Simpson in and see what he can do, or you just need to go back to Jalen Milroe. Because right now, I mean, I feel like I confidently can say if Jalen Milroe was in the game this first quarter, we probably at least have two scores on the board, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. You have to choose your guy. Take the cake out of the freaking oven and let Milroe play. Yeah, he may not make all the right decisions all the time, but the upside of the big play potential is going to work for you. And right now, they're run studying. They're getting in the backfield. They're getting great penetration. That big, massive offensive line not moving good laterally, and the backs have nowhere to go with the football. So that's when you can't run the ball, you can't have any type of play action pass where you can take some shots down the field. I mean, he hit one pass, he led the receiver right out of bounds. I mean, my whole point is why I was upset about this whole thing because, I mean, I know the game. I understand what you can do. You got to get past yourself as a coach. I'm watching South Carolina right now. South Carolina offensive line couldn't block nobody against North Carolina. They gave up 9 sacks. They playing the Georgia team on the road between the hedges and leading 14-3. Why? I mean, their quick passing game, even with Spencer Rattler. They're running plays. The offensive coordinator is putting his guys in position to make plays. I keep talking about the number 2 pencil. You got to be able to call plays that sometimes that's going to allow your guys to be open, just like what we seen last week with Steve Sarkisian. He called plays that were easy throws for the quarterback. Get the ball out in space. Let your receivers do their thing. And this is not just a quarterback. This is a coordinator situation. Tommy Rees, up to this point, is not doing a great job, and that's just point blank. And so that's why I said it doesn't matter if the line doesn't protect, if they don't get any movement in the run game. I don't care who you put in a quarterback, you're going to see some of the same results. The bottom line is this: Milroe gives you the X factor. He's going to make a defensive coordinator call things differently. Nobody thinks about that, but when you got a guy with that type of explosion that has great high percentage rate throwing the ball deep, you have to call your defense differently. And that's the reality of it. I mean, listen, yeah, Tyler Buckner probably was nervous and whatever, but he's not the answer. I just saw A.J. McCarron even tweet, put Ty Simpson in there. So he played quarterback, won national championship, played in the league for a long time. Even he's saying, get this guy out of there. I mean, this is an issue. This team has talent all around, and it's a daggum shame that they can't maximize or take opportunities to go downfield and make explosive plays. And that's sad. It is hard to watch, Christian. I mean, it's hard to watch these guys right now. And I watch other games, and I see every other offense doing all kinds of different things to set players up. And why isn't Alabama doing it? This is not the Alabama of old. This is not ground and pound. This is not we just going to control everything. You got to out-scheme and out-coach people now. It's just what it is. Our offensive line is not up to place. Therefore, you got to be able to call plays to get guys open so they can make plays down the field. That's what I'm saying. And again, it makes me even more mad, honestly, to see number 4 sitting over there not in this game, because there's no doubt that he would have made something happen thus far in this game.
I agree. And I think what really just is sticking out to me right now is just like it just appears that there's like a lack of that killer instinct right now. You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, I just don't see that edge. It doesn't seem like guys are playing with that edge right now. I see guys on defense, they're getting sacks and they're flying around a little bit, but it's still there's sometimes where South Florida's running the football. We're kind of getting a little knocked back. I mean, this happens to everybody, but that running back hit the hole, just ran right through Caleb. I just want to see that fire, that passion. Like, I can tell you right now, the teams that I was on, if we were down 3-0 through one quarter of play against a team like South Florida, all respect to them, there would be guys cussing, fighting, pushing, shoving, everything on the sideline, because we wouldn't allow that. And it feels like guys are just kind of coasting through right now. I don't know. Again, I know it's just one quarter, but I just was really hoping after last week's disappointing loss that they would come out guns a-blazing. They'd come out with a fire, with a passion, really looking to unload on somebody and say, look, last week is last week. This is who we are. We are Alabama. We're here to play. We're here to stay. We're here to play to that standard that we keep talking about, that level of physicality, right? That level of discipline. Just so far, again, just one quarter in, I'm not trying to jump the gun or hit the panic button. This is just my analysis through one quarter. We got the time to do it with the weather delay. Just not seeing that edge, that fire. And I think that they need to get that. I mean, you got the talent is there, right? You need to have that from the players, but also just, again, so far, the play calling, there's not really much of a rhythm going. Again, I mentioned that one drive, just 3 straight passes. There's a 3-and-out, I believe. So why are we not trying to impose our will? Why are we not establishing a physical run game right now? That's something we needed to work on last week. I thought going into this game, we would come out in this first quarter pounding the football, right? Imposing our will on those guys, letting the offensive line prove this physicality. We heard Tyler Booker come in and talk about we're pissed off. That's what I was hoping to see so far. And through quarter one, I'm just not seeing it. They got plenty of time, in this football game, but they got to start figuring stuff out, right? You're running out of time. Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin are going to come into Bryant-Denny Stadium next week, and once you're SEC play, You're an SEC player. There's no more time to kind of fool around and dibble and dabble with, let's put this guy in and try to, let's put this guy in and try to. Because if you drop another game, especially an SEC conference game, it's it. You're probably not going to the SEC championship, right? And if you don't go to the SEC championship, you're more than likely not going to the national championship. So I'm just really hoping these guys can find that passion, that fire, that edge, whether they go into this locker room for this weather delay, whether it's coming from coaches, players, it doesn't matter. Somebody needs to get on somebody or everybody and say, look, we got to get things together. We got to come together. We need to play how we know we can play. Because right now, this is not Alabama football.
As I said, it's hard to watch. It's hard to look at. This is not a typical Nick Saban coach football team. And I go back to what Josh Bates said. Listen, I am really starting to say pinpoint the coaching staff because we know they have players. We know they have highly ranked players. They got NFL guys on this roster. So when you start seeing lack of development, lack of execution, lack of play calling, that's directed at the coaches, point blank. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm watching this offense and I'm like, this is unbelievable. I mean, everybody else that you watch on Saturday offensively got guys running wide open, throwing little hitches out, stacking those receivers, motioning, in and around passes, even, Georgia. Everybody's doing these things. I mean, you have to do something. You have to have a mindset. Every offensive coordinator needs to have an open mind to how, as Steve Spurrier used to say, draw plays up in the sand. Do something. You have to do something to help your guys out. When you're asking them to be who you want them to be and they're not that, it's epic failure. And that's what I'm seeing. I pray and hope that they can change things around. I'm sure Coach Saban is having a fit in that locker room. Thank God. Again, praise you, Lord, for allowing it to rain and stopping this game, putting a pause on it, because I don't know. Listen, South Florida is not going to beat them. The quarterback's not good enough. He's going to run around. Whatever.
Oh, he's giving them free sacks. I mean, I've never seen a quarterback just hand away sacks like that. I mean, he doesn't even try those footballs.
They had 6 sacks. They missed a couple of them. I mean, when he scrambled out there. So, listen, they're going to win the game, but it's ugly. I mean, and as you said, I don't see fire. And you know what else I don't see? I don't see is confidence. This team lacks confidence. Back in the day, you could roll the A helmet on the field. It was swagger. Other teams were nervous. But this team that we're watching today, they lack confidence. They don't know who they are. And it's unfortunate. And something has to change. And that starts with leadership up top. That starts with Nick Saban. That starts with this coaching staff. I mean, this is not Alabama football. I mean, even last year, they had 2 close losses, but that was a different team. This team, to me, oh, man, it doesn't look good. And right now, based on what I'm seeing with my eyes, they're not going to beat Ole Miss. They're not going to beat LSU playing football like this. Not going to happen. So, I don't know. I'm just starting. I thought that we'll see them come out and just going up down the field, easy throws, big plays. None of that. I mean, this is South freaking Florida. This team with Jeff Scott last year was horrible, and we're losing 3-0. This is embarrassing. I mean, this is embarrassing, really, the way they're playing football right now.
Definitely tough to watch, but luckily there's 3 more quarters. Let's get everybody else in the conversation. We got a lot of people coming in. Appreciate you guys joining us. Bama Man says too conservative. Yeah, I don't know if they're just trying to get things warmed up or what, but I mean, even if you're going to run those, quick screens, so that's fine. But like, you have to execute right now. Buckner's not putting that ball in position for those guys to really, catch a stride and run. And like, I don't know, man.
Receivers are frustrated when they can't get the ball. You can see those guys, they look deflated. A couple of those throws, even that bubble screen where he threw it way out in front, one of them he threw behind. You can see the frustration of this receiving corps not getting the ball and to be able to make those types of plays. So I wouldn't care if we see Ty Simpson right. Put somebody in there, but it don't matter. It doesn't matter if the play calling is going to be so boring and just going through the motion, like we're just going to be very simple and dominate you. Well, that ain't happening.
Or set things up, right? You know what I mean? Like set up a nice play action shot. I haven't seen any of that this first quarter so far. It's just it almost looks like they're running through this that plain vanilla script that you see during like a scrimmage. Like it doesn't really seem very innovative or anything. It's like setting things up, right? You know what I mean? Like it just seems very. I don't know. I'm starting to kind of get a little concerned with the play calling so far through these first few games. We'll see what. Well, there we go, right there. So. Antune up there, Anton Smith, a little critical of Tommy Reese. So
he's very critical. Not a little.
I didn't want those words to come out of my mouth.
I can't disagree. Based on what I've seen, it is absolutely horrible. I'm sorry, it is. It's horrible. You got to have an innovator. When you're bringing in this type of high quality talent, you better have an innovator. Look what Alabama's had. I mean, Mike Loxley, an innovator play caller. Lane Kiffin, innovator play caller. Steve Sarkisian, innovative play caller. Bill O'Brien, he was more innovative. He's an NFL dude, but he would at least have a little bit more innovation. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is not Notre Dame where you don't have fast players. Maybe you're just so used to slow wide receivers and big physical offensive linemen that can pound you and had big tight ends. And, you know, this is totally, you got a Ferrari, man. I mean, you got to use that Ferrari. And he's not. He's just not.
I agree. Let's see what else we got. NFC boys. Buckner, second string quarterback, more INTs and TDs. That's kind of what you were saying on the pregame show that we did earlier. Milroe should have had the start. So he's in agreement with you for sure. Jen House, appreciate the podcast. How can I give? Look, man, we appreciate it. We just enjoy coming on here, you know, giving our analysis, hanging out with you guys. I'm sure there's a way to set up super chats if you guys want to help, so we can do more stuff like this and set things up for more engagement. I'll figure that out at some point. I just appreciate you guys tuning in and being a part of what we got going here. But you can always like, comment, subscribe, share it. It means a lot. Again, we just enjoy hopping on and hanging out with you guys and sharing kind of our thoughts and analysis. Willie said Kool-Aid had no business touching that ball in punt return. Again, I mean, that's a critical error right there. You got to look, what we say in football, we say Peter, Peter, Peter. You know, that's alerting everybody to get away from the football. And it looked like he was giving a Peter call, but then he went and tried to, I guess, get it. But when you're that congested, if you're going to make that decision, you got to make sure you come up and secure the football. And it's just those small lapses, man. That it's just like we keep having sprinkles of those, and they keep tallying up. And now I feel like it's just we see these things consistently, and it's just you're not really accustomed to seeing that from Alabama football teams, man. So we just have to. Again, I think it's here. I think everything right now that we're seeing is an issue for Alabama is here. Between the eyes, between the ears, right? It's all the mentality because you got all the talent. I'm not even going to say 4 or 5 stars. I could care less about that. These guys can play football. I've seen it, right? They have to have that edge. You have to go in there confident. You have to know what you're doing. You have to not only know what you're doing, but why you're doing it, right? That way you can really fit into this system, right? Everybody has to be in unison, be on the same page, one accord, fly around to the football, play with that edge, be physical. All those little details that make up the Bama standard, that's what you hear about. That's what it is playing fast, relentless, physical, dominant brand football for 60 minutes in a game. And it's just, man, we've been undisciplined. We've got penalties, mental errors. And now that lack of competitive nature is just I'm really getting a little concerned. But still a lot of football left in this game. And hopefully we start seeing some turnaround. Donald said, I love Bama, always will, but right now we are teetering on the brink of disaster. It kind of does look like that. I'll be honest, you know, and I'm not one of those people. I'm always optimistic, right? And I still think there is a chance, you know, we can kind of get things going and really turn stuff around. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts right now. So some of this is expected, right? You got a whole new quarterback in there. They're moving guys around, trying to, use different personnel and grouping to see what's best. So some of this is expected, but there's no excuse for that lack of fire, that lack of passion, especially coming off a loss like last week.
What I say, danger zone. I said danger zone. This team is in the danger zone, and we're seeing it. We're not seeing a team that again angry and peed off how they played last week. You know, they said it, and I told you I'm sick and tired of them saying anything. Be quiet. Be quiet and just go freaking show me that you're mad and angry. Show me that you're going to be dominant. Show me that you're going to control the line of scrimmage. Show me that you're going to make people quit. Don't tell me, because when you tell me, then I look, I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that at all. I don't even know if this offensive line is capable of it at this point. I don't know, because this is 3 games and I haven't seen it. So I've seen struggles against Middle Tennessee State. I saw struggles, domination last week, and then I'm seeing struggles in the first quarter of this football game on today. So, you know what? It's just a hot mess right now, and I will say this team is not a good team right now. They're not. I got to be honest.
Let me ask you this.
Today, what I'm saying today, this isn't a good football team. And
let me ask you this.
That goes. Yes.
Are you more concerned with what you see today, the struggles you're seeing today, versus the struggles that you saw last week? Because I'll be honest, what I've seen in the first quarter of this game has me far more concerned than what I saw last week against Texas. This makes me almost feel better about Texas, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of issues last week. And I thought that was kind of our floor. I was like, all right, we can only really go up from here. It's early on. There's going to be mistakes. We can only go up from here, right?
Not really. Not really.
I don't know.
Listen, Jordan says, why would they give him RPO, meaning Tyler Buckner, and not Milroe? I said that. Remember, I tweeted out at Pastor Payne 57 at the Mills Edge. I tweeted out how he called plays last year at the Gator Bowl against South Carolina. A lot of RPOs, a lot of motion, a lot of quick throws. We didn't see any of that for Milroe last week. I'm saying, if you're going to call that today, Milroe should be your starting quarterback because he gives you the best chance. Yes, he's not that typical, prototypical guy, but he gives you the best chance to win and have success with this offense. Also, he's a great deep ball thrower. I mean, he's a big play machine. If you can get him to cut down on the mistakes, this offense works. A lot of teams run it. It works, and you got one of the best athletes, not just on your team, but one of the best athletes in the country. Why would you have him sitting over there on the sideline doing nothing? Makes no sense to me.
Again, we appreciate everybody joining us as Alabama versus USF. They're in a weather delay, so we wanted to hop on here, give our analysis, our thoughts in the first quarter. It looks like they're going to start back, I think, in probably the next 10 minutes or so. I think it's at 4:30. Right now it is 4:21. So we're about to head back. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to all these comments. We've got so many comments right now. It's hard to keep up with everybody.
Some, Christian, we won't comment. Just read off some of them so we can see.
Yeah. That's I'm trying to, but there's a lot. Man, 98-yard return. Oh wait, it's called back. They're whipped. I guess he was talking about Danger Zone. You singing that? Again, I mean, it's tough to watch, man. It's not something you're typically used to seeing from Alabama. Will we play Ty Simpson? I think we see him at this point. I think why not, right? I mean, you've got a quarter in with Buckner. The only thing that I don't like is the fact that this weather right now is going to make it difficult for you to really throw the ball like you like to throw the football. So I think you definitely see Simpson in there. But I just wanted to be as dry as possible because I don't want no excuses. I don't want it to be, there's bad weather. That's why. No, I want everybody to be evaluated evenly. I want to see who is the right guy for the job. Because right now it's looking like Jalen Milroe probably shouldn't have been benched at this point. It's still very early, but that's what it seems to me. Like he shouldn't have been benched. Maybe Ty Simpson will offer a little bit more of a spark. But if you're looking for a spark, I just don't know if I'm seeing that out of Tyler Buckner right now. Tim said we're playing extremely emotional, no confidence whatsoever. That's what it appears to me like, Tim. I agree. The guys just don't really seem confident. They don't have that edge. They don't have that fire right now. And that's what you should have coming off a loss, especially, you're Alabama. You just lost at home. Yeah, it's a really good Texas team, but that doesn't happen often, right? Like they should have came out this game swinging. I mean, USF should have caught hell from the very start of this game. And I'm just not seeing that. And that's what's concerning me, right? The talent stuff I'm good on, scheme and personnel, we can clean things up. But if these guys don't have it here, can't do anything. Doesn't matter how good of a player you are, doesn't matter how good the coaches are. If your guys aren't bought in here, if they're not attacking practice games, weights, film with the right mindset, you can't win. It's going to catch up to you. It always does. I guarantee it. It happened to a couple teams that I was on. The teams that we lost in national championship games, we lost it here. We had all the talent. My dad says it all the time. The rosters that we had in the 2 national championship teams I played on that we lost, I mean, the 2 deep, all 22 on both sides, like the 2 deep on both sides of football, all played in the NFL. Everybody. Like, we shouldn't have lost a single game. But the games that we lost, we beat ourselves. Or we lost that edge here towards the end of the season. Guys started losing focus. Justice Haynes has been kidnapped. Haven't seen much of him, but, I mean, you got several guys back there. I mean, Jason McClellan, I feel like he looks pretty good when he's running the football. They just stopped going to him. And the offensive line's got to do a good job to be consistent and give those guys holes. But I feel like we should see some more. At this point, I don't care if you're a freshman, sophomore, transfer, whoever. If I'm a coach, I'm going for any guy that's going to go out there and just play hard, play with that right mentality. I don't care who you are, where you're at on
the where the game matters.
Yep.
It matters. Play somebody that wants to be in there. I mean, listen. I mean, this is pathetic. I mean, there's no other way to say it. I'm pulling so hard, but it's like, man, I'm watching the Gamecocks on one TV, the Bam on the other. And,
it's almost like they're swapped.
Yeah, I'm like, South Carolina playing like Bama down in Georgia. I mean, what in the world? They don't have nowhere near the players. But it is what it is. I mean, I don't want to come here and say I told you. So the 3 quarters left. I hope Tyler Butler can turn it around. I hope this man Tommy Reese can get his head right and call some plays that can work. But I don't know. I don't want to start doubting because doubting is wrong. I'm keeping faith. I'm keeping faith that this is a bad start. Maybe the weather, the gloomy day, who knows? I don't know. I just see right now, I see a bad football team collectively that's still making mistakes, penalties. Same thing we saw. Penalty cost us a touchdown again. That's 3 of them this year already. 3 penalties that's taken away 21 points thus far this season. And, at least we're getting pressure on the defense have come to play. I mean, they've given up 3 points. I mean, so I can't say nothing about the defense. But the offense has been absolutely horrid. And there's no other way to put it.
I almost agree with I want to make sure I'm getting this right. DeMaio, look, I almost wonder that, right? When you do make a change like that, how does that affect the locker room, right? Because guys do buy into a quarterback, right? And it's tough to tell. But could that have an effect right now? Definitely could. But right now, man, like I said, I think it's all up here. Guys just need to lock in and really get back to playing winning football. Because right now, I'm just not really seeing it. Because defense still win games. That's what they say. Defense wins championships. They're keeping us in this game right now. Because Lord knows, if they weren't doing their job, we might be down 2 touchdowns right now.
Wow. Well, we're about 4 minutes before they start up, right?
Yeah, we're about to get going. I feel bad. We got 90 people in here, man. But we definitely got to get back to watching the game. We got to see if they can turn it around. Let us know what y'all think. Y'all think this is just a first quarter little fluke? They just got to get it out of their system, or what do y'all think? How do y'all think this game is going to end up going? You think we're going to see Ty Simpson, Jalen Milroe here shortly? Let us know. But remember, we're going to be doing our post-game show immediately after the game, whether that's I think we got it scheduled for 6, but if it's before, cool, a little bit later. But just make sure you guys come on back to the post-game show because we're definitely going to give our full game analysis. Again, this was unscheduled. This kind of little, went off script. Just wanted to come here during the weather delay, chop it up with you guys, give our thoughts. But yeah, we'll definitely let everybody get back to watching the game. Hopefully we get it cleaned up. You got any last thoughts before we hop off here?
No, I'm just, if you're a people of prayer, but we got to start. I got to go full dab on you right now. Just, hey Lord, Lord, we need your help, Jesus. But I think they'll win the game. I think they'll find something here. I think this is a great pause in the game. You're going to have basically 2 halftimes, and I bet they would shorten the real halftime because of the delay. But they have a chance to make some early adjustments. And I think what I'm willing to believe is that we're going to see something different offensively. maybe even a little bit more tempo. Maybe they try tempo, go fast, and see if that works a little bit. But I think we'll see something different. I'm still roll tide roll, but we'll
Always.
offer our opinion.
No doubt. We appreciate you guys hopping on here with us again. The post-game show will be live again following this game. Hopefully we got some good stuff to talk about. But again, thank you guys for joining. We'll see you guys in a little bit. This is the Miller's Edge. We'll see you guys soon.